What's going on? So today I wanted to do some tests on the new Sony A7 S3. We know it is the low light beast. It's the king. And so I wanted to test out the different profiles and to see kind of where the noise floor is, what kind of image I can get out of the different profiles. So we're going to test the couple of the HLGs, the Cine, S3 straight out of camera with like a creative style, and what those picture profiles will look like in a low light situation. So what we did is we took a light dome and we put it over the top of a table, and then here's an example of the product that we're shooting. And I want to see what the different profiles would look like under this situation, because this is a typical kind of lighting scenario that I'll either do with products or at events where I don't have that much control of the lighting. So I want to add a little bit of light, but not too much. And then I wanted to expose each of these profiles properly. So obviously, I already know off the bat that S-Log3 was not going to be the best, but I wanted to see how it performed, and I was actually surprised how it performed. And a lot of times people talk about these profiles where it doesn't look good, and the thing is they don't expose it properly. So I use Leeming LUTs a lot, and so I wanted to expose that properly. So they have a different setting than what Sony has on their website for each of the profiles. So in the test that I did, I expose them properly, what Leeming LUT standards are, and then what the Sony website says, like where I should expose the IRE values for each of the different profiles to see which one would give me the best image. And so we're going to look at noise. Also going to look at when I put on the different LUTs, how that looks and how my final image looks. And then, how the natural profile looks. Is it really worth doing some of these other picture profiles, or should I just shoot with the profile off and what the looks are? I also want to pay attention to exposing properly. How does it handle the highlights versus the noise floor? So we're going to go into the computer now. I did a bunch of different test shots, and then I'm going to show you the different results that we get by using this camera in kind of a low light scenario and what you guys should expect. All right, so here are all our test shots. These were all recorded on the Ninja V. I was using the DNX Kodak, and the reason why I did this, so that way you guys can see the back of the screen, so it's not just a screenshot, even though it looks like up here, it looks like just a screenshot. This is actually recorded onto the Ninja. So what we have on top, if we go over here, on the top, we're going to have our color chart. So we used our color chart, put it over here to get the colors. And then the tracks on the bottom, we used the Leeming LUTs. So through all the tests, I pretty much found out that Leeming LUTs colors are more of what my eye actually sees versus any kind of creative style. The charts do really good, but for the most part, I like the look of the Leeming LUTs, but you really have to overexpose or else it's a pretty dark image. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a crop wipe. So then that way, when I move this up, you're seeing the track underneath. So this is just a standard profile, and what is up above is with the chart, and then underneath is the Leeming LUTs. Like the Leeming LUTs a little bit better. They're maybe a little bit warmer than the chart, but if you look at the noise in the background, it's pretty much the same. So this is with the chart and Leeming LUTs in a standard picture profile. This probably gave me the lowest amount of noise. So now we're going to move into S-Log3. And so this is putting the 18% gray card at 41 IRE. So let's go through. And so the first one is going to be with the color checker. And then on the bottom is going to be the Leeming LUTs. I didn't try in the color grading process to make them look exactly the same. I wanted to just slap on the Leeming LUTs and then slap on the color checker and see what we got. So this is with S-Log3. And so you can see I'm going to play this through. It is not a still image, and you can't really see the noise when it's corrected. But you can see it's like at 8,000 ISO. So let's take this off. And now you can see it's very, very noisy, but this is exposed properly. And that way, when you push that noise floor down, it pretty much goes away. So S-Log3 is possible, but you need to expose properly. A lot of people don't want to jack up the ISO because they're afraid that it's going to introduce some noise. But what happens, they get in post and they have to start bringing black levels up and stuff like that. So expose properly and you shouldn't be able to see too much noise. Like I said, for low light, low dynamic range, I would stay away from the S-Log3, but it is possible to get a clean image. You just got to know where your noise floor is. All right, so what we have is the HLG3. This is straight out of camera. Then we have the color checker here. And then we will take this up, and then this is what the Leeming LUTs give us. I like the color flexibility on the Leeming LUTs. The color checker by default is going to be kind of at the extremes. It's going to set the white points, the black points, and the saturation. But the Leeming LUTs is more of what my eyes would see. So this is the HLG3 based on Sony's settings as far as how you should expose it. This is what it looked like in camera, and then this is what it looked like with the color checker, and then this is what it looks like with the Leeming LUTs. But you see it's a very dark image even though it's exposed at 00. And then you look over here, and this is exposed at 66 IRE, and that's where Leeming LUTs suggest that you expose HLG3, and there's a much cleaner image. The colors are very vibrant and punchy, and you're not having to do too much pushing and pulling to make this look good. Here's again with this off. It's not too noisy, even at this higher ISO. But you can see as soon as you put on that grade, you start punching down the black levels, and it's a very clean looking image. Here where their settings, it looks very, very underexposed. So now this is going to be the Cine 4. This is usually my go-to profile. Now, it doesn't do that much to the exposure, but you can see, especially we'll zoom in here on the color chart, and now watch the colors just start shifting around, especially with the reds and the magentas. This is with the color chart. So Leeming LUTs don't have a setting for Cine 4. So I just did some curves, and you can see, and I tried to match what my eyes could see. So that's what this is with the color chart, and then that's kind of what my eyes can see, and more to like what I like my image to look like. Now this is also the Cine 4. And this is with a stop over, and this is probably where I would shoot it. Let me take everything off. So that is pre-color grade. Here is with the color chart, and then this is kind of, if I was doing it myself, what I would color grade, how I'd push my colors around. So this one is with the color chart, and this is what I would do with it. And then one more time, I will turn it off. So when it comes to low light, I'd probably stick with standard if you don't want to push any colors around. If you want a little bit of flexibility, I would go with the Cine 4 or just the straight HLG. If you're looking for a little bit more dynamic range, then I would go into the HLG3. It's kind of a mix between S-Log. It is a considerably more noise in the image, but if you expose right, it gets punched down and you don't notice those noise levels. So we'll go over it real quick. So this is the HLG properly exposed. It's a little noisy. We got little fine noise moving around. It's not too bad, but once we turn on that grade, it pretty much goes away as long as you expose properly, and it's a pretty good looking image overall, so I'm happy. If I don't need to do any color grading, I'll go with the standard profile, but I'll probably shoot my low light scenarios in HLG or Cine 4 still. I think those give me the best clean image and a little bit of flexibility when it comes to pushing some of the colors around. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you guys have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. Thank you guys.